Alright, everybody, so welcome back. Last week, you all had just arrived at the city of Yartar with the young Artan Rosolio in tow. The young noble been having a rough time of things, seemed infected with some sort of ailment that was causing his skin to turn translucent, almost causing an effect that made him seem allergic to fresh air, allergic to the surrounding air, to oxygen. Rashes on his skin, inability to breathe properly, and just massive overheating, unless, of course, he was submerged in water. So, after crafting a way to transport him so submerged, you were able to return him to Yartar. There was quite a line to get in, but with some convincing, you were able to get yourselves to the front of the line, especially having a missing noble in tow. But you were able to return Yartan to his mother, who was not really too pleased to see the young man. The callous woman did, however, offer you a large sum of money to find out who took him and retrieve his lost family pendant, an item that seemed far more valuable to the Lady Rosolio than her son did. So, the search for the kidnappers led you all to the home of the Water Baron of Yartar, a noblewoman by the name of Nestra Ruthiel. She was able to provide you all with a little bit of insight into the kidnappings and what had been going on and who potentially could be behind it. She has no hard evidence, but she believed Lord Dryland to be behind it, her biggest political rival in the city of Yartar. But those groups pointed you towards the Hand of Yartar, an all-women's thieves guild that operates in the city, and was known for having their hands in various nefarious deals. So, while venturing into the seedier parts of town looking for the Hand of Yartar, you all were set upon by minions of a shady organization known as the Kraken Society. They waylaid you, trying to kidnap one of your number, and were defeated. And that is where we find ourselves today, still on the streets of Yartar, in the docks, in the dock ward, one of the less reputable neighborhoods of the area. So, as the aftermath of that fight settles down and begins to end, you hear from around one of the alleyways a slow clapping begin. And a very imposing woman, standing at about 6'4", powerfully built, steps around the corner. She's got a huge axe slung over her shoulder, kind of holding it like almost like a lumberjack, like behind her neck on either side. And she comes around and she's like, "That was quite impressive." And from behind her, several others, cowled, most of them, emerge from behind as well. And the woman steps forward, red hair, short cut, again, very powerfully built. She steps forward and she says, "My name's Sally, Scimitar Sally," as she kind of pulls the axe around the front of her. Says, "We were planning on dealing with all of these ones ourselves, but you all seem to have made quite the deal of it. And this is Scimitar Sally."
I like her.
So, as she kind of looks around at all of the slain creatures, walks up to the large frog thing and gives it a quick nudge with her boot. "I was really looking forward to burying my axe in this one, but what can you do?" She looks around and she says, "You," and she points at Frederick, and she says, "We have something for you." And she steps forward, mildly threateningly, and she reaches back like she's going to pull something out, and she pulls out a letter for Frederick. And she says, "Somebody that says they're very close to you gave us a lot of money to bring this to you." And she hands him the note. He reads over it for a brief moment, and he turns towards you all lets you know that his father in Waterdeep has become very ill. His sister still missing, his brother in the north, his other brother despondent over the death of his wife. There is no one left to run the Van Enric estate. He has to go back and take care of the estate until either his father recuperates or his brother is ready to take the reins again. So, with that, Frederick does bid you all farewell and hopes to one day rejoin you on this quest.
Frederick, you going to Waterdeep?
Yeah, he has to go back to his family's estate.
Before he goes, Dandy's gonna give him like one of those like bear hugs where you hear his spine like pop a little bit, like his feet leave the ground, kind of a bear hug.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
thus
we
the
keep the
spine
pseudo
is
dragon.
Unflinch is definitely going with him, but he does leave behind any of the things you all have accrued on your journeys, any items that he has, he'll leave behind.
I have no idea what he accrued, to be totally honest. I'm sorry. He
Uh,
had
I believe he had a wand of the War Mage.
yeah.
I think that was the main item that he was able to get his hands on. But with that, Frederick does leave us, and
fare thee well, Freddy. Pour one out for our homies.
so after that's all said and done, Scimitar Sally turns her attention back towards all of you and says, "So, I've heard that you lot have been looking for the Hand of Yartar. If such an organization were to even exist, what would cause you to seek them out?" The four people that came out from the alley behind her begin to slowly encircle you all. They're not getting too close, but there's definitely one on each point of the compass surrounding the group.
Well, as it should be obvious from what's around us, the Kraken Society has decided to make our lives difficult. And, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
She nods and says, "That is most definitely a fact. And we are no
And
friends of the Kraken."
So,
So what draws you to seek them out? What draws you to their slimy shores?
well, mostly for the good. They're doing something unspeakable to the families in charge of this great city. And we were investigating, and since you've been up against them for so long, we figured you might already have eyes and ears on them.
So you believe them to be involved in the kidnappings? The city's just been blaming us so much that we forgot anyone else even did any wrong in this city.
It's easy to have a scapegoat. It's less easy to actually do the work to figure out what's going on.
She nods.
Yes.
That is certainly a fact.
Luckily, we like to do things the hard way.
She looks around and like, I noticed that, especially when your noble friend was like inside of its stomach. That seemed like an interesting tactic. They were literally just watching the whole fight.
So, the people who have been disappearing, have they been taken from the riverboat?
She says the riverboat.
The gambling paddle
Right.
boat.
The Grand Dam, there's...
Yes.
That seems to be the location. That seems to be a location that many of those that have been afflicted with have had in common.
Well,
Now, it could also be coincidence due to the fact that it is an establishment for those who obviously have more coin than they have sense. But there is also the chance that it could be proper hunting ground for whatever this Kraken society has preying upon individuals.
Well, we've always had our eyes on the Grand Dame. Never really were able to get anyone inside until just recently. Most of our people are too well known, but we did just have a new prospect. We sent her in to take a look at things. We weren't expecting her to really find anything about the kidnappings, mainly just try and find out how well they keep their coin. But it seems likely that they could have something to do with it.
At the very least, it could be a hunting ground.
I
Indeed.
suspect the boat itself keeps a much tighter grip on the coin than its patrons do.
Right. Our operatives' instructions are to stay until closing time and see where it goes when the tables close. Anyways, what other information do you have? What else leads you to them? Is there anybody you suspect?
Well, the people who have been kidnapped, one person in particular. What is?
Dryland.
No.
It is the last place that the individuals that have been recovered from said kidnappings can recall being at.
We encountered someone who was kidnapped, and he was in a halfway state between still being human and being one of these froggle mouths.
I'm not sure about that myself, but he had been afflicted with something, or he had to be in the presence of water, or being in dry air itself without being around water was enough to, well, essentially cripple the poor son of a gun.
You said he had some vague memories. What did he tell you? What does he remember about that night?
A woman in a purple dress with dark hair.
You see a few of the people standing around you all look towards Sally.
And he doesn't seem like the type of person who would attract any woman whatsoever, so.
Yeah.
She was up to
Artan,
something.
Certainly a sweet kid, but he's not exactly a charmer, is he?
No.
Well, the lady in purple. She thinks on it for a moment, looks towards one of the other hands of Yartar that's there with her, and the one that she looks to gives a nod, and then Sally turns back towards you and says, "That is likely to be Lady Italia. To be honest, we've been trying to recruit her for the better part of a year, but she is either in the employ of somebody who surpasses our persuasive ability, or simply wishes to remain independent. But if Lady Italia is involved in this, be careful. Not much is known about her, but from what my people have been able to gather, she is a telepath."
Okay.
My apologies, had a little bit of static. She is what?
A telepath.
Ah.
She frequents the Grand Dame. She's likely going to be there for the next few days. Evenings, I should say. But again, be careful what your mind goes to around her.
Well, if nothing else, I am sure that there's plenty of unpleasantness in mind that can persuade one to look elsewhere.
Part of me says she's just going to hear a flat line in Dandy's brain.
Like birds chirping.
Yeah.
Open field. She says, "Well,
Just remember how I died."
So Sally looks around and she says, "Well, since you did all the hard work for us, the least we can do is clean up your mess." And she looks around, "Ladies," and they start hauling bodies away, and two of them grab onto the big frog thing and start pulling it off. Just tuck them into the harbor.
Is there a way to get a hold of you guys if we get more information?
So we've been watching you since you arrived. We'll continue keeping an eye on you all. If you do need assistance, just say so.
Thank you.
So we've been invited to go aboard the Grand Dame.
Yes, we heard. Well, we heard that you visited with the Water Baron and then came looking for us. So,
And we understand that we don't bring weapons or armor on board. Is that something that might be a problem?
it shouldn't be.
Okay.
Things do not tend to get violent aboard the Grand Dame. It's a very respectable establishment. That's why we had to send somebody new to our ranks in to keep an eye on things from within, because they recognize most of us and do their best to not let us in. But
But they let telepaths in.
Lady Atalia,
Is she running the place?
she says she might as well be. She seems to have her fingers in just about everything there, and like I said, we've been trying to recruit her for the better part of a year. She's impressive. Either her telepathic abilities don't end at simply reading minds, or she can talk herself into just about anything.
Well, telepathy in and of itself would be highly useful at a casino.
Can you see why we've been trying to recruit her? Imagine the bankroll.
Yes, I'd be child's play just to have her walking around and sending messages about what cards she sees in other people's hands from behind them to designated players.
She is quite the expert at Savras, from what I hear.
Scrounge up secrets from individuals who are blowing off steam, who are in commerce, government, and business. Yeah, it'd be useful.
Like a lot like cheating.
What was that, what?
Place you could gather a lot of it.
I said it seems like a lot like cheating.
She says,
I don't think a reputable gamble house would actually allow that unless she's working for the house.
That's what I'd suspect.
well, is there anything else that you require of the hand this evening?
Out of character, I thought it was only no weapons. Did they also say no armor as well?
They said no weapons.
No weapons, okay.
Right. So if you conceal your armor beneath, like, your fancy clothes, then you should be fine.
Okay.
Hey,
I
Or
like
if
her
your
axe.
armor are your fancy clothes.
no, you can't break in a hammer, but guys with fireballs are okay.
I could imagine a sorcerer being a bit of a trick. Like, how exactly do you disarm a sorcerer?
With an axe.
You make him wear armor.
Oof. Oof.
That was amazing.
Yeah. But Sally kind of pulls the axe from her back and swings it around. Says, "Oh, this thing?
Mm-hmm.
It's not as delicate as the type of weapon that I'm used to, but it sends the right message, I think." I got the name Scimitar Sally for a reason. They don't call me Giant Axe Sally. Yet, anyways.
Man, how do I get to be
presumed it
called
was-
Great Axe Dandy?
I just presumed it was a subterfuge. I just presumed it was a deception on your part, Sally.
It's getting to that point.
However, I don't know if there's any other information that any of the party wishes to try to gather here. But, if there... this may be a bit indelicate to ask, but I don't know if you'd be willing to tell us, to give us the description or the name of the person you have on the inside,
She says,
or if nothing else, at least see if there's a way to let whoever this person is know who we are, just so we can attempt to stay out of one another's way, if nothing else.
she nods and says, "Oh, we'll definitely inform her that you're coming, but I don't think revealing her identity to you would be quite wise. Not yet, anyways."
Understandable. And a precaution, and a very sensible precaution.
As you're having this conversation, the streets around you are now completely cleaned. People are walking around again. It's like you never just had a fight with the big frog monster and several weird creatures.
Cities are so weird.
Does Dandy say that out loud?
Oh yeah.
Brevin says, I suspect, Dandy, that part of it is there are several things that like to prey upon various types of humans and other sentient beings. Thus, a large accumulation such as you find within cities kind of provides them an ample hunting ground.
But nobody did anything. This is not how it is back home.
Don't you all have things like frost giants and white?
Oh, we have all kinds of stuff, but
Griffins,
If
frost
someone-
giants, white dragons.
if someone's attacked, the rest of the tribe assists. We don't all just stand around and go, well,
I suspect part of it. I suspect part of it is we're in an area of town where there would only be a limited presence of officials and police and peacekeepers.
And you don't want to end up on the wrong side of a group like the Kraken.
group like that, the wrong side's probably the right side.
Couldn't agree more.
There is also the fact that most people are nowhere near as formidable as us and the rest of the party, Dandy.
Get
Would you-
formidable.
Would you ask a shoe cobbler to bring the small little hammer he uses to repair shoes to try to fight something like we just destroyed?
I'd tell him to bring all his nails.
Most people just want to live their life in peace.
Gross.
I actually remember
I'll
a
agree.
story of a cobbler fighting a full-blown kraken under the sea.
How'd
I
it
think
turn
that
out?
was he flicked it off before he left it.
Wasn't that a puppet maker?
No, he's a cobbler. He's a shoe. He makes shoes. Stone jaw, strong jaw. I can't remember. You know how it is.
And after you all finish that conversation amongst yourselves, Sally and her entourage are gone. Slipped away into the night. Very, very Batman-esque.
They're so cool.
All right. So, what do y'all want to do?
Do a pat down. Did they take any of our stuff?
If you go through your belongings, nothing appears to be stolen.
Okay. Well, I suppose we have ran down this lead about as far as we can go. We've made contact, we've gathered some information.
They seemed really nice. Super helpful.
They're the opposite of helpful. They just stood there and watched.
Well, they knew things, which is more than most people out here have, been able to give us knowledge. So what's our next move? Do we go check out this telepath?
Well, that seems to be how these individuals are getting in trouble, but
Yeah, but we
investigating.
don't have any money for her to exploit. It's not like they're gonna turn us into squid monsters.
Well, we can always check and
Why?
see.
Why not?
Because what would they get out of it?
Squid monsters.
Mhm.
I did not follow that thought to the conclusion. Thank you.
While I
Correct me if I'm wrong. Out of game, I don't think we picked up clothes yet, right? Like we were waiting towards like evening time for that.
Yes.
And Lady, the Water Baron, did give you all access to her full wardrobe, which has all kinds of fancies in there for you all. Nestor Ruthiel.
It's gonna take Dandy a while, so I'm just gonna burn my channel divinities to get back some spell slots. Assuming at some point we'll take a short rest before going to the.
Yeah, that definitely holds up. So it was early evening when you all left, so it's probably about 6:30 in the evening right now. If you intend to go tonight, the riverboat departs at 9 p.m. So you have a couple hours.
Okay.
Do we want to go tonight, or do we want to? There's sips on the table, kiddo. Go. Did we want to be back at full power before we tried the riverboat?
I'm good
Well-
either way, but I'm also unsure how many resources everybody else went through.
Well, as far as resources go, I'm pretty sure we all still have plenty. However, there is one thing that, since I haven't had a chance to really get to know you all too well yet, I haven't really been able to take a look at your armor and weapons. You see, I'm very good at working with armor and weapons, and I might be able to upgrade someone's armor, which could be useful. But I need some time to do it.
So what exactly can Charles do?
I can enhance defense. My plan is to use it
Yeah.
on Horus. So like I can enhance his plate armor so he gets an extra AC.
Jeez.
My armor already has something.
Then your shield then.
Oh,
Jeez. Get your AC up to 22.
my shield's magical.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there I am.
Literally nothing will touch Horus.
Right? Like, saving throws only for Horus.
That's the point.
What is, we're working on it.
Gonna have to bring back that primordial dragon just so we can start swinging in the 30s.
Oh boy.
If the dragon rolls well, he can actually touch Horus.
All right, so you all want to lay low for the evening and head out to the place the next morning or the next evening?
It might be best if we go with all our, like, at full power, right?
Full health and full spell slots, you're thinking? Okay.
What do you
I
think,
mean,
Wyatt?
here's the thing: the Kraken's already taking a swing at us. That's a whole day for them to
Mhm.
prepare some other shenanigans. I don't think
Fair enough.
waiting's gonna really.
Strike while they're
Regrouping.
before they know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of character, I'm only missing 2 third-level spells. With the Harness Divine, I'm pretty much full, and I think everybody's at full health. And with a short rest, I think Brevin's getting everything back. The only thing I don't know
Yeah.
is Horace and Charles.
I'm down a third level slot.
I'm only
That's it.
down 2 first levels, and that's it.
Yeah, so I think we're okay. I think also maybe this might be important. We have 6 healing potions in the bag. Shouldn't we spread that out to people?
Yeah, we probably
At least have
should.
one on everybody, that way
Yes.
in case somebody does go down and you can't heal them, or
Yes.
yeah.
In case they're out of range of someone who can heal, yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody snag a potion of healing.
I did pick this up as well, so we can just put everything in the bag of holding for now. But you guys can all have one potion, which makes sense.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the most useful replicate magic item things an artificer gets.
I mean, yeah. Anybody who carries one of those is the party's best friend.
Yes, I can carry everything you guys need to carry now. Not an issue.
You can even carry Brevin.
Jump on in.
Get in the bag!
Hold your breath.
He doesn't have to breathe.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Get in the bag.
Get in the
Get
bag.
in the bag.
Get in there.
Warforged shenanigans.
Well-
So good.
A party of Warforged, one invisible pseudo dragon with a bag of holding.
Can you imagine you just one person walking along with a bag of holding, and there's like 5 Warforged sitting with a bag of holding. It's like, oh, you want to fight? Just opens the bag up. 5 more people come out. You still want to fight?
How long have we been in there? 500 years.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Definitely writing that one down.
Like,
Which group gets to enjoy that one? I wonder.
Oh boy, Candlekeep's gonna have a rough time.
like Brevin would suggest that they could do this with E, except for the fact he's half convinced E would then just lay on the flap of the bag and go to sleep.
Sit on the bag like it's his hoard or something.
And scream at anybody that tries to open it.
Yeah.
So, Sean, if you're okay with it, I'll just use Enhanced Defense for Horus, and we can just continue going for today.
Yeah. How long does it take to do?
So normally it would take a long rest for me to choose someone, and then I'd be able to do it in the morning. Like I choose my infusions in the morning type thing. One of them was always on repeating shot, and the other one would be on blessing or enhanced defense onto Horus.
Okay, so you hadn't had anything picked for the second one yet? You were holding on to it? Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and do it.
Alright, cool. So Horus, you have +1 AC from now on until stated otherwise.
Okay, plus 1 more.
22 AC. My God.
It's gotta be. What?
In my
Don't-
head,
don't-
he now looks like the kid
19,
from A Christmas
20,
Story who
21,
can't
22.
put his arms down.
23.
23. Wow.
Don't worry, it'll go up higher.
All right. Dreams of ever hitting Horus with anything just out the window. That's okay.
He is a key member of this party, especially with 5-foot doors.
Alright, in that case, I guess we're going to the boat.
To the
Right,
Water
to the
Baron's place to
closet.
get
Water Baron, okay.
your clothes first.
We're gonna get fancy.
Let's go.
80s dress montage.
I'll put on a set of the inventor's best clothes.
Alright, everyone. So as you're heading back, it only takes about 15 minutes to travel back from the dock ward to the Water Baron's place. But yeah, once you all arrive there, she greets you back openly. No need for the announcements like last time. She does know to expect you all this time. And she leads you all back to the wardrobes, and you can all begin picking everything out. So, does anybody want to describe their new fancy outfits? We'll have done that, the 80s changing montage, and yeah, anyone that wants to describe how their character looks now, go ahead. Anyone?
Well,
Uh.
Dandy's scrubbed all the blue crap out of her hair. So she comes out blonde and in a dress, like an actual people dress, instead of a like I made this out of the furs or the creatures I've murdered kind of dress. The only real recognizable thing on Dandy right now are the celestial tattoos that are coming out from her sleeves and her collar. She cleans up pretty good.
Right. So we've got a image for that. Sorry, one second, it's not responding.
See, she cleaned up so nice, she broke your...
Broke my
your
PC.
Does not compute.
I'm gonna post mine in Discord.
Okay.
Just a picture.
Here we go.
Of
Got
the
it.
armor, essentially, of the clothing.
So, Dandy's new look. Oh,
I don't have it for HeroForge, unfortunately. I didn't have time to do that this week.
nice. All right.
She's really confused about where she's supposed to hide her axe.
In the bag of holding. That's where my Steel Defender's going.
Brevin, for his part, is kind of looked through and just kind of picked him a clothing that was more, yes, fancy, but much more subdued in color.
Here's Charles's for everybody. Nice, I like the cape.
Yeah, I was gonna say shiny cape.
What was Brevin's outfit?
I don't actually have a picture or anything, but he is, of course, picking some of the finer looking clothes, but he's going for more darker colors and subdued, more like anything like browns and grays where it kind of blends in a little bit better.
Okay.
Instead, he tries to stay away from black just because black is too dark where you can see it easier.
Okay.
And he is contemplating where on his clothing he can try to... He knows a light crossbow he's going to have to leave behind. Oh god, no. No.
Did I miss him?
Yeah,
okay.
Sean,
Mhm.
one thing.
Yep.
Dandy's gonna have that Zataran thing that Silurin left behind with her.
The hidden blade?
No, it was like the symbol.
Oh, okay. Wait,
You never know.
his...
It was like a black coaster with the gold snake on it.
Yep.
Okay.
Did he ever explain to you what that was?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
But it feels important.
Okay.
Sometimes you just need a coaster.
So that was a black obsidian disc with an eye on one side and the symbol and the snake with wings on the other side.
Yes.
You are aware of what it is. What is his name that killed back in the other city? The one who paid us for finding out information on the wizard. He is
Right.
Mother Zentarum agent. He explained to you exactly what that was, and he said to keep it with you because if he ever needs our services, that's how he'll be contacting you through.
Oh, it's a sending stone.
It's kind of like a sending stone.
Yeah.
Danny
more
doesn't
like
know what it is, but he's a.
Yeah.
Okay. And Wyatt has some art for Fancy Wyatt for us.
Yes.
There it is.
Still has a cigar in his mouth. Love it.
All right. So as you're all finishing up with that business, Lady Ruthiel arrives and she says, "So, you all have a few thousand gold lying around that you can use to buy yourselves under the tables there?"
Wait, is she asking or offering?
She's asking.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, well. And she calls to somebody behind her who approaches with a large chest, and she says, "Be careful with how you spend this. If I found out you squandered it, I'll be wanting repayment." And then she pulls out a chest and she says, "Consider this a bonus. You figure out what you need to figure out who's behind the kidnappings, and put an end to it here in the city. You can keep this. But for now," and she pulls out a chest and it has 2,000 gold in it. "For now, you will need this to get onto the boat. There is an unspoken rule that once you first arrive, you need to buy a certain amount of chips. Not doing so is sure to garner the wrong kind of attention. So, as soon as you arrive on the boat, transfer this 2,000 gold here into golden geese. It's the chip that they use on the tables."
Oh. Wyatt's just planning on changing them to golden geese, waiting till the end of the night, and then just changing it right back.
We very much appreciate the obvious extension of trust. Because if $2,000 worth of gold is not a sign of at least a level of trust, I don't know what is.
Well, I have faith in you all.
That's nice. That's more positive reinforcement than we usually get, guys.
Yeah. This is so her fault. I'm assuming we slide that into Charles's bag too.
Just stuff it all in there.
Fuck, cat. My cat
Okay.
just batted a mountain of dice off my desk.
They want to play too.
Right? Okay. So, whenever you're ready to depart for the Grand Dame, it departs in about an hour.
Okay. I guess it's time for the party to try to make their way towards it.
Mm-hmm. Charles will strut his stuff as he walks towards the
Like the
Grand Dame.
straight back, leaning back just a little bit, feet out in front. Strut walk.
Dandy has
Alright.
no idea how people move around without weapons. She feels naked.
Well, you still
should've
got
had her-
You still got your weapons now. They'll take them from you at the door.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can just put the weapons in the bag of holding and they won't know better.
Depending upon what level the scum that we're encountering.
Yeah, bags of holding are pretty common items. I mean, they're not uncommon.
And there's a telepath who would say they've got weapons in their bag.
Something
Can Dandy have signed out some rings from the Water Baron?
Yeah.
That would be able to be improvised into like brass knuckles.
Like
She has to hit somebody.
into punch enhancers.
Yes.
Yeah, the other option is I have my Steel Defender with all the weapons nearby, and then if things go south, I call it in and it jumps through window or something with all our weapons.
They're like sack gloves. Sorry guys, Hank got a phone call.
No worries.
Run away.
The gift must exist. Where is it? R2D2 shooting the lightsaber onto the pleasure barge. No, Discord, you failed me.
The only other thing I can think of is that before she got fancy, they were able to use Dandy to hide things under the boat.
It's up to you all.
I don't know how useful that would be.
So, Water Baron Ruthiel has informed you that they will be confiscating your weapons at the door. They do it for everybody.
Let's just confiscate them, guys. It's not a big deal.
Well, you probably don't want them confiscating your magic weapons. Because, oops, they missed a hat check.
So leave them behind. Leave them at the Water Baron's house.
Yeah.
All right, she's just gonna go with her knuckle enhancers.
That is a long way for your weapons to be away from you all.
I was gonna say, like, why don't we just give the bag of holding to my Steel Defender and it'll hold on to everything and just wait outside. And then if something bad goes down, then Steel Defender rushes in, doesn't care about guards.
Does the paddle boat move on the water?
It does. It'll travel up and down the lake, up and down the river for the evening.
Why don't you just leave it with your Steel Defender and just check it into as like...
Check the Steel Defender into...
That's smart. And then that would work too. And then the Steel Defender could just run up because like, you know, I'll like deactivate it, quote unquote, and then, you know, whenever I need it, boom, come to me.
Yeah.
I like that.
Let's go with that then.
Go team.
Yeah, it's a good plan.
Wait, let's use this. Goodbye.
All right.
Some poor coat person just putting a ticket on the Steel Defender.
Just imagine like growling at him as he does, like a low mechanical.
My apologies.
Oh, cool. You back?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, cool. No worries. No worries. It happens. All right. So, as y'all make your way away from the Water Baron's home towards the riverbanks, you see a small line of very, very well-dressed and obviously wealthy nobles boarding onto this massive riverboat. The entire structure is quite enormous. It stands 3 stories tall, rising up out of the water. Very unique sight to see here in the Forgotten Realms. A ship of this size on the river alone is quite interesting, but to see something that is essentially a floating house, a very, very affluent floating house. The light inside is very clearly designed to let off a golden hue, bathing everything in shades of gold around it. And the entire thing is about 120 feet, about 130 feet long. It's quite the impressive vessel. But as you all approach, the last person in line before you all steps in and hands over a coat, and you see them immediately turn and enter into one of the many open doors of the riverboat. It looks like from where you're standing, you see maybe about half a dozen people walking around inside at the moment. what y'all do?
Check our things, I guess, and walk in.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Water Baron did provide you all with invitations, so you all do have the actual invitations on you currently.
All right.
So shouldn't we turn our gold into golden gooses so as not to look conspicuous?
Yes.
All right. So, as you all make your way up and onto the boat, a woman greets you all, her hair pulled tightly back and up into a bun, and she says, "Greetings. You all are the Water Barons, friends from out of town. We've been expecting you. Hello, hello. Please, come aboard."
I'm Reverend steps aboard and state and just says, "This is a rather impressive vessel that you have."
Says, "Thank you, thank you. Lord Dryland does take very good care of it. My name is Pao Ming. I oversee daily operations and the evening festivities here on the vessel. You all are more than welcome aboard, and I hope that you truly enjoy your time. You may exchange your gold for geese this way," and she directs you along towards a boxed in section, and there is what looks like a very bored human man inside, and she says, "You can exchange your geese here, and he will take your weapons."
Dandy's going to pretend she is totally offended by the thought of weapons, for she is far too gentle for such things.
Reverend Reverend does hand over both crossbow and daggers.
Okay.
I'm,
So you all can tell that they're not doing a thorough search of you all. It seems reasonable that you would be able to keep some smaller weapons concealed on you.
Charles just kind of walk up, and the bag of holding just kind of like tied to the dog's my Luna's back, and I'll just be like, am I allowed to bring my beautiful invention with me inside, or do I have to leave it here?
Normally don't allow pets inside on the ship. She's never seen anything
Well,
like the Seal Defender before.
well, let me tell you right now, this is not a pet. This is the one and only Luna, the very first of its kind, a marvelous invention. In fact, if you'd like, I'd be more than happy to display it. It might even get some more people to come in and look at it and be like, "Wow, what an amazing invention!"
So Pao Ming looks at it and says, "We are at capacity for the evening. A very exclusive list. We're not trying to bring in the riffraff off the street, but I will test your word. An invention, you say? So leave it here with Mikhail." And she gestures towards the bored-looking guy, kind of asleep. Looks at you and is like, "Oh yeah, just set it with the back with the rest of the stuff."
All right, very well. And Steel Fender will just kind of go there and like just lay down and like curl its head around.
Next time, tell them it's your emotional support animal.
I'm quite confident, all right?
All right.
So Horace leaves the hammer and a pick. I don't know why. I never used the pick. Should just sell it.
Why it's the same. He just throws a hand axe and a mace on there, like probably near the man who's sleeping, like disrespectfully, just like throw it at him. Here you go.
You have those? I've never seen those.
Yeah, I don't. It's weird. Just found them one day.
Okay. All right. So
Wyatt needs a whip.
What?
Or Wolverine claws.
Alrighty, so after collecting all of your weapons, Pao Ming leads you down and around to the back of the ship, and just as she does so, you all feel the sudden motion of the ship pulling away from the dock and taking off into the river. So, now we can put you all here. All right, so you all find yourself in the midst of a very grand casino floor. There's only about half a dozen people here. They're all seated at tables throughout the area. There is Pao Ming at the back, and as you all enter in, she says, Tonight we will be hosting Kobold's Knuckles and Sava. Each game minimum bet is 1 golden goose. As always, drinks are included in the price of your admission. Indulge as much as you please. We have a variety of different imbibements available in our stores, and our chefs can prepare any meal that you desire for you. Enjoy your evening. We will be docking back in 4 hours. So, as you're all in there, there's several people seated at tables throughout the area, and I just kind of dispersed you all throughout, however, but yeah, there's several people here. Several people seated playing games, a few of them eating dinner. A few of them seem to be kind of sitting around preparing for something, just like waiting for something. But yeah, so what do y'all want to do?
Is it like pitch black in here? Because I can't see.
Oh, you should be able to see. Yeah, 1 second. I'll just turn daylight mode on if it's not on already.
You might have to look around to find the spot.
Daylight mode is on. Where are you, Wyatt?
He's in the middle.
Yeah, I see you there. Oh, your token has no vision. I will fix that right now. Wyatt, do you have dark vision?
No, human. Oh, that makes a world of difference.
I bet, yeah, being able to see helps. Here, I'll change your default token right now so it keeps the vision on. Oh my God, I swear, my cat waits until I start running a game, and then she's like, "What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Can I help? What you doing?"
I think your cat and my kid are twins.
That's a good cat.
Yeah. All right.
Ah.
All right, everyone. So, as you're there, a game is concluding. These are clearly 2 of the first people to arrive. And as you're all approaching, you hear a man say, as he stands up from the table, just like flabbergasted, there's a very intricate, multi-leveled chessboard in front of them. And those of you that are familiar with drow culture specifically, or have been near any place that was near any sort of drow city would recognize this game as Sava. It is a chess-like game played between 2 people. Odd version of chess. 2 players play against each other using ebony pieces resembling drow warriors, mages, and priestesses. The goal of the game is to destroy the other player's noble house. It's a skilled game of deception and insight played against 2 people, much like heads-up poker would be. But the man stands, says, "I do not know how you do it, Lady Atalia. You seem to know my every move before I know it myself. Thank you for the game. It's much appreciative, well worth the 3 geese I lost in the venture. Thank you, my lady." And you hear her say, He bows down and says, "Now I think I must find another table, lest I squander all the coin I've spent a lifetime acquiring." The woman smiles warmly back at the older man. She says, "You do that, Lord Hubert. Until next time." And the man steps away. The lady in the bright purple dress begins walking away, and she says, "Oh, the orchestra seems to be starting soon. Gather round, everyone." And anyone near the center of the room begins to hear an orchestra kind of pitching up. Seems to be coming from all around. But she hangs out there for a moment.
Is there an orchestra? Or do we just hear it?
You just hear it. There is no actual orchestra.
So it's like a psychic projection?
Very
and we're
much.
actively trying to listen to it.
You don't have to actively try to listen to it. It's just if you get to the center of the room, you can hear it, and if you focus on it, you can hear it very clearly.
I'm driven upon noticing that it's not an actual real orchestra. He is going to dig out that coin with the emblem of Kelmore on it,
Okay.
and he's just focusing precisely upon how each ridge, edge line, and everything else about it feels in his hands instead of anything else.
Okay. After listening to the song for a few minutes, the woman steps away and sits at a table that looks like they're playing Kobold's Knuckles. It is a very similar to blackjack game. Several tokens are laid down and flipped forward. Essentially, each of these tokens is numbered from 1 to 6, and a second set of tokens is numbered 1 to 4. It's a dealer versus the house kind of game, and she sits down next to a couple other nobles and starts to play.
What other games are around? Is there any that require a bit more skill?
There's only the two games right now. There is Saba, the chess-like game, and then there is Kobold's Knuckles. They host 2 games per night.
Okay. I'd be interested in doing the Sava one.
Sandy will go over and sit where Talia is for the Cobalt's Knuckles.
Yeah, I think Wyatt will join Danny with that Cobalt's Knuckles game.
Okay. So
Charles will sit down one of the Sava games and see if anyone's interested in playing.
So the man who just got whomped by a Talia is sitting at another Sava table right now. As you approach, he extends his hand and says, "Pleasure to meet you, Lord Hubert."
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Name's Charles.
Nice to meet you, Charles. You fancy a game? Have you played Sava before?
He'll examine the game and be like, "This is a very intricate game. Why don't you just tell me the rules real quick, and I'd be more than happy to play with you."
He goes on to explain the objective of the game, that it is a game of skill and deception and insight, and that the objective is to destroy the other player's noble house. And so he explains the rules, shows you the different layers of the chessboard, points out what all the different pieces do, and you're able to get a pretty decent handle on how it's done. Minimum bet for this game is 5 golden geese, is what Hubert would bet for it, would put down.
Okay. And what would that be in monetary value?
So assuming you guys transferred all of the 2,000 that Nestor gave you all into golden geese like she asked you to, you have 200 golden geese between all of you.
Okay.
So like 40 geese a person?
Yeah, maybe about 40 geese a person. Yep. You said it was 5 geese bet right now?
5 geese bet is what Hubert puts down.
All right. Well, I suppose 5 is fair for the first game. I'll just put down 5 as well.
Okay.
The adventurer's mind starts to go crazy. It starts to formulate a million strategies all at once.
All right. So for this game, it is a skill challenge. We are going to do an intelligence check, a insight check, and a deception check. We will add the totals of all 3 together. Whoever has the higher is the winner.
Okay.
So, for Hubert, his intelligence check is a 16. His wisdom insight is a 13. And charisma, deception. It's a 14. Okay. So it does look like
And what was his last one?
it was 14.
So
So
13, 14, and
30,
14.
43 total.
Oh, is it based on the total?
Yep, the total.
Okay.
So you add the 3 checks together, and then whoever has the higher wins.
So I'm at 10, 20, 31 right now. And he's at 30, 40?
I believe it's 14, it's 16 and 14, so 30, and then another 13, so 43 was his total.
43. Yeah, the insight kind of blew me over. All right.
All right. And now, just 1 second, I've got to shut down my extensions real quick. Go ahead and jump right back on in. So welcome back, everybody. We are in the Grand Dame Casino Hall right now, and I believe a few of our players were about to engage in a game of Kobold's Knuckles.
Yes.
So, Dandy, seated next to Lady Italia, she would lean over to you and say, "Have you ever played this game before?" This is
Nope.
Lady Italia, by the way.
Then I said, nope. Looks
Well,
easy enough.
Oh, it most certainly is. And the great thing about this game is that you don't play against anybody except for our lovely dealer here. And she glances over, and there's this like hulking half orc. The cards are look like little baby playing cards in his hands. He's like, "Auntie." And Lady Italia puts 2 golden geese in front of her.
Dandy's gonna just mimic what she does.
All right, so who is all playing this game of Kobolds and Knuckles right now?
I think it was me, Wyatt.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's a card game, but we're going to be using dice. It's a very simple version of blackjack. So you play against the house, not each other, and up to 5 different players can play at the same time. So right now we have Lady Italia, we have oh my God, we have Wyatt, and we have Dandy, and there's also one more noble person sitting next to you, has not introduced himself. And so each player makes a bet. The minimum bet is 1 golden goose. And then, so I'll explain the rules for everybody first, and then we'll get into the game. But each player rolls 1d6 and 1d4 in the open for everybody to see. The dealer then rolls 1d6 in the open and 1d4 behind the screen. Each player can then in turn choose to roll additional 1d4s until you don't want to anymore. If your total exceeds 10, it's a bust. After everyone's rolled their d4s, the dealer reveals the hidden d4 and rolls additional d4s until they have reached at least 8 or higher. If the result exceeds 10, players win. If the dealer's finished rolling, any player with a result lower than the dealer's loses their bets. Players with the same total as the dealer reclaim their bets, and players with the highest result win win 100% of what they put back. So if you put 1 golden goose back, you can take your goose and another back. You put 2 back, you get 4 back, so on and so forth.
Oh, if it's 10 or higher, it's bust. So 9 is like the highest.
Higher than 10. If the result exceeds 10.
Okay, so 11 or higher then.
Right, 11 is a bust.
Got it.
Okay. So, let's go ahead and roll. The dealer... go ahead and everybody roll, and then I'll roll for the dealer. I will also roll for Lady Italia. So 1d6 plus 1d4.
I'm putting 5 golden geese up.
Nice.
Damn, big spender. And
Okay,
Dandy will just straight up say that to you across the table.
Nice. So here's Italia's. I'm going to go ahead and put hers in big.
Rolled the worst I could have. Jesus.
So this is Italia's.
I mean, it's not that bad. As long as you don't roll a 4, you're good. So you have a 75% chance that you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, that's my fear.
That's really good odds though.
Okay, so let me grab my notebook so I can write this down.
I feel like I can't lose. Obviously, I have no idea how this works.
All right,
As
and
close
now
as we can get, right?
the
Yeah, closest
dealer,
to 10 if possible. That's what
the
you want.
dealer shows a 3. So I'll put that right here.
Oh, that's such a terrible sight too. Okay, 3.
Remember that 3 is the d6 though.
Yeah.
The most they could have right now is 7.
To keep it simpler, we'll say
One.
that the other man who was at the table decided not to play.
Okay.
Atalia's got a 3 and a 4, so Atalia's got 7. Dealer is showing a 3. Okay.
So do I roll another d6 or a d4?
4. So you roll d4s until you get as close to 10 as you want to.
I would like to roll another d4.
Okay, go for it.
I'm at 4. 6. I'm doing it again.
Ooh.
I'm at 8, and I'm
It's
going
an
to stop.
Okay. So before anyone else rolls, let's go ahead and mark that. Stops at 8. Okay. Wyatt, would you like to go first, or shall Lady Atalia?
Wyatt will roll.
Okay.
He'll throw one more d4. And
Oh,
Good
nice.
job, buddy.
Nice. So Wyatt stays at 10, obviously. I mean, do you like to live dangerously?
yeah, right.
You can't roll a 0.
Oh my god, have you all seen the debate going on the internet? It happened in the Facebook groups again, where how to read the D1, that's the percentile plus D10 properly. It's like some
no.
people, it's like, ah, no. But, all right, and then Lady Atalia with her 7 will roll once. And bust out.
Oh.
Yep. So you see that Lady Atalia is actually a little bit delighted to have lost. She looks over towards you, Dan, and she says, I love this game. It's so much randomness, so much chance. So much more fun than those skill games like Sava.
I can see how it would be appealing.
All right, and now the dealer reveals their 1, giving them a total of 4. So 6. Dealer stops at 10.
Oh.
So I lost.
So yes, Dandy, you have lost your 2 golden geese. Wyatt, you get to take your 4 back.
5.
5. You get to take your 5 back. No loss, no gain. And Atalia has lost hers.
I'm going to look at Atalia and ask her if she wants to do it again.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, 2 more.
Okay. Wyatt?
Wyatt's throwing 20.
Nice. Big spender.
Good gravy.
All right. So, Atalia puts her customary 2 down. And you all can roll.
Okay. So 4,
Let me put Dandy's down.
6, 9. Staying at 9.
Oh yeah, should we roll all of them?
Let's go ahead. So Dandy, you can stay at 9, but remember we do it in turns. So you roll your D6, your
sorry.
D6 and your D4. Everybody else does that, and then we go. You see the dealers, and then after that, you get to decide what you want to do. Because the dealer might have had like a 6, and then like you know.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So Dandy stays at 9. Wyatt, you had 5,
Total, right?
and here comes Lady Atalia's. She is not having a good night. Lady Atalia's at 2.
Oh.
And here comes the dealer's roll. Dealer rolls 5. Okay. Dealer shows a 5. So, Wyatt, go ahead. 8
I
for
think
Wyatt.
that puts me at 8. And Wyatt will stay at 8.
Okay.
Live
Lady Atalia is
dangerous.
at 2.
I'm gonna be cheering her on.
She's at 4.
You can totally do this.
She's at 5.
Keep going.
6.
Last time, you can do it.
Oh my god, she's gonna go one more time. Oh my god. Lady Atalia's having a bad night. Okay. So, the dealer. Where's she at? Dealer rolled a 5 and shows a 2. So dealer's sitting at 7. Dealer has to roll. Dealer gets to 8 and stays. Dealer has to stay at 8. Okay. So, Wyatt, what was your final?
8. I push.
Okay. And Dandy wins.
Yay! She's gonna clap her hands like, yay!
All right.
That just means she gets her 2 back, right?
You win. You get your 2 plus another 2.
Hey, so I'm back to even. Hooray!
All
Hmm.
Actual game of chance. It's nice.
right. Lady Atalia leans back and says, "It really is nice. Even losing a bit of money every now and then. It's nice to. It's so easy to read these people sometimes when you're playing games like Saba. Don't you agree?"
Yeah, I mean, people have tells.
That they do, and especially people like Lord Hubert over there. So easy to read them.
I'll kind of like
Well-
listening to that one.
It's probably good for certain people to lose once in a while.
All right. So, Lady Atalia looks around towards you and towards Dandy and Wyatt and says, "So, what brings you all out on this lovely evening?"
We're guests of the Water Barons, and she suggested this would be a good place for us to come tonight.
And she looks over towards Wyatt. "And you as well? A guest of the Water Barons?"
Yeah. Out of town acquaintance. She said we could have a lovely evening here.
Well, it is certainly a lovely place.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't think I've got your name.
Atalia. Lady Atalia.
Ah. Lord Wyatt of House Lightbloom.
All right. Well, it is a pleasure to meet you. And say, would anybody fancy a game of Saba?
Oh, no, nah, not for me.
So after discussing with Hubert about strategies and like how the game works and everything, and kind of getting all the mastered and everything, Charles will walk up and just be like, "Well, now that I know how to play, I wouldn't mind giving my hand at it."
Lady Atalia would love to.
All right.
All right, so the two of you sit across from a table, and she asks if you've played a game like this before.
I have indeed.
Great. So she doesn't bother trying to explain anything to you, and she sets up the table, and she says, "How much shall we wager?"
How about I'm feeling this. You know what? This game is just very interesting, a lot of fun. I'll go ahead and wager 10.
10. Okay. All right. So.
Is there any way to get advantage in this game?
What would you think you could use? So, it's a strategy game. It's a lot like chess, kind of like a multi-leveled game of chess. You need an intelligence check, Sava check, so you get to add proficiency if you're proficient in Sava, which
I don't have any proficiencies in games, unfortunately.
right. So like a proficiency in dragon chess and things like that would also give you the same thing, but you need a wisdom insight check to kind of predict what your opponent is going to do, and a charisma deception check to thwart that insight, to deceive them and to try to get them to think that you're going to do something that you're not.
Right.
And you do remember that you are playing against a telepath.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and my first thought to that is just like, all right, there's only one way. If I'm gonna play against a telepath, the easiest thing I can do is, go from move to move and not try to think in advance. So that's how I'm going to be playing this game, is thinking from like just one move to the next. I'm not gonna bother thinking about what to do next. I'm only gonna, like, after she makes a move, that's what I'll start thinking about what my next move is gonna be.
The easiest thing you can do is not think that she's a telepath, because then she'll know that she's a telepath. The easiest thing for you to do is.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Charles has also only played this game once now, and so he hasn't. And so his idea is, I haven't gotten used to this game yet, or the idea is he hasn't gotten used to this game quite yet. Like, he's just kind of like intrigued by it and wants to try it again.
Okay.
And so he's not trying to think many moves ahead. He's just trying to, like, examine the board as it is and trying to find out the best move for that move. That is the reasoning behind what he would be doing.
All right. So, let's go ahead and see those checks.
So you're just thinking so much. You're thinking that maybe she can't keep up with all that noise in your head.
Basically, with every move, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, let's go ahead and see those checks. We'll go ahead and let you make all three of yours first, Drake, and then we'll add them up. She'll make hers.
I remember that character.
Oh, sorry. Charles.
Charles is doing astrophysics, but in like deep speech.
Alright, so intelligence check. Okay. Then it's, what's the next?
Insight.
Insight. A bit better than last time. Not great though. And deception. My deception is just not thinking.
Wow. Oh no.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So here comes hers.
Oh gosh.
Oh no. She's beat you with just her intelligence check.
Oh
gosh.
Yeah. So her intelligence check. Her intelligence Sava check was a 23.
Jeez.
And then her wisdom insight is a 19, and her charisma deception is a 22.
I'm guessing she's rolling at advantage for all of them.
She is rolling at advantage for everything.
Yeah, I figured as much.
So when she's done, she says, "So your first or second time then?"
Yes, it is indeed. It's such an interesting game.
She says, "Well, maybe with a bit more time, you'll learn the ropes of it."
Indeed. Oh well, a deal is a deal.
All right. Okay, everyone. So Brevin and Horace, what are you two up to during this outing?
Brevin has politely collected one of the drinks that was offered, and it looks, and is, even though it doesn't really, he's pretending to sip it essentially.
What did you order? They would have just walked up to you and asked you what you would like, and they literally can get you anything.
Probably would have just asked for I'm not sure what else stuff would be called in Faerun.
Yes, for
Just
a Bloody
equivalent of
Mary.
quality Bailey. Oh God, no.
Bloody Mary, full of grace.
Huh.
maybe that's the prayer he should have uttered to the God of the dead as he watched this Charles's last attempt, thinking that he'd mastered the game in one go.
May you comfort us in this time of our death, which I hope is soon.
Look, this is a learning experience for Charles. Charles is all very curious about new things, and this is something that was new to him. And the idea of how this game was made was very intriguing to him as an adventure. So
Right. And like you went up against a literal telepath. I mean, she was almost guaranteed to beat you.
she's probably
Yeah.
going to win. Yeah. He also was just attempting to listen and see what sort of chit chat he's hearing amongst folks, including just because he prefers to, well, just kind of be a bit curious. Are we restricted to just this room, or are we able to move around some?
You're able to move around. You're asked to not leave this level.
Okay. I'm probably gonna have it where he is walked up and down like he probably will just kind of duck. I just kind of look around a few places, some just because he likes doing that.
Okay. Yeah. So you can get. There's a door right there that you can get out from. And then walk around the outsides. Those are all windows along the outside. So you're welcome to wander around the exterior of the boat, get some fresh air as much as you'd like to. That kind of stuff.
Oh, we lost Andy.
Oh no, Andy. So Brevin, as you walk up there, there's a room with three very unnoble like looking men kind of leaning up against the back wall. They've got weapons. They're just leaning there. You can are you just walking by, or are you like obviously looking in at them?
I'm just going to walk by as if I'm not paying them any attention in the world while I'm while also sliding out that little still mirror I have into one of my hands, so I can kind of look at their reflection to see what I can tell about them without even looking directly at them.
Okay. So there are three guys in there. They do not appear to be paying any attention to you at all. They're just in there. Their weapons are leaned up against the wall and against the tables. They're just chatting and drinking and just hanging out. They appear to be the guards, probably there to in case anything goes off or there's a fight, break that kind of stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not guests of the riverboat.
Okay.
So what is it we're exactly trying to find out here?
Going to pause for a moment. Do I try to look around out here some? Because one thing I do while I'm out here is don't have a thing to do it with. And it's a little too much company for me to actually be able to summon E for him to just like cling to the side of the boat. I guess I'll wander around a little bit more just to see what I can see right quick.
Okay. As you walked past the front of the boat, I used to know nautical terms. I forgot them all somewhere along the lines. But as you walk past the front of the boat, you hear some raucous noise coming up from down below. Sounds like there's more guards, more crew down there.
Is there anybody looking at me at the moment?
Nope.
That I can tell?
Nope. One of the guards might have like casually glanced up and saw a very well-dressed person walk past the window and literally just immediately started ignoring you.
Okay,
The front of the bow.
Bow!
If I look over the side, can I tell if there are any obvious windows or anything?
Not on the side of the boat, no. Very notable lack of windows on the side.
Okay.
Welcome back, Andy. Andy, you trying to like hack my computer through Discord?
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Sorry, go ahead,
since
Revan.
Since I'm hearing noise from down there, I am going to flip off the side, see if I can hear a little more what's going on.
Make a perception check.
So I'm kind of on the side of it now.
Yep. The dog's not
Probably
there.
stuff there, but we know I am. Yeah. Doo-doo-doo. There you are, chicks.
Okay. You hear lots of different voices shouting. With what was that?
I said that wasn't the great.
So with a 12,
Yeah.
you can hear that there's definitely some talking going on down there. There's no shouting, no signs of alarm. It doesn't sound like anyone's fighting. You don't hear any shouts for help, anything like that. Nothing along those lines.
Okay. I will scurry back up. Make sure nobody is peek above. Just make sure nobody is noticed.
Yeah. The two people that were in those windows are very much not paying attention to you.
Okay, I will climb back out, and then looking at my fingertips, I do just whisper out a quick prestidigitation to clean them off, so there's not a sign of them being soiled or anything, and continue on my little walk.
All right. So now that we have Andy back, can we get wisdom saving throws from everybody that was inside of that cabin with Atalia?
Oh man.
Myself as well, since I'm currently outside.
Yes, this would have been for the time that you spent inside.
Okay.
Wisdom save.
Those dice are not in your favor tonight, are they, Charles?
Nope.
Some nights it be that way.
Dandy says, "What's wisdom?"
Okay. So, another hour or two into the cruise, into the trip. You're about halfway through the trip. Atalia would approach. She was already talking to Dandy a bit, so she'll approach Dandy, and she'll say, "I know you've come looking for me. Pretend everything is fine." And as you look towards her, she is not speaking to you. She is sending this directly to your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, she says that she knows that you're here looking for her. She says, pretend as if everything is fine. We need to talk. Not here. Follow me when the boat returns to the docks. Nod if you understand me.
I am going to nod.
She just lets out a very, very lovely smile and says, shall we play another game?
I think that'd be great.
All right.
I am partial to the knuckle bones.
Oh, are they throwing knuckle bones again? I'm throwing two.
Let's do it.
I love D&D gambling. It's so fun.
I'll join in on it this time too.
All right, cool.
Waterbaron's gonna be pissed. I throw all 40 golden geese on the table.
So
I will do 4.
How much did you bet?
4.
Wyatt?
All of it.
I thought you said that. I was like, fuck.
I'm doing
Okay.
the same. I'm gonna try and get break even again. We'll go with 25 myself.
Okay, so 25 for Drake. 25 from Drake, 40 for Wyatt, and how much for Dandy?
4.
4.
She's just gonna look at the boys like, y'all know.
It's not even their money. They're just like, yeah,
Exactly.
let's go. Ah,
How
Charles, I
disrespectful.
will get it. I will remember. I promise. It will happen eventually. Okay, so then we have Charles, Wyatt, and Dandy. Okay, so let's start. Let's start with Wyatt. Go ahead and make your rolls, Wyatt.
Here's the D6 and the
Nice.
D4.
So Wyatt sits
Nice.
at 9. Nice roll. Okay.
I'm staying.
Good call, buddy.
So Wyatt sits at 9. So remember, we do the first roll, and then we go around the table until everyone's made their first roll. Dealer makes their roll, and then we go around the rest of the way. So
Yes,
Wyatt...
I'm sorry. I won't do that again.
No, you're good. Okay, let's go ahead and go with Charles next.
Can I just bug eye the dealer the whole time, just mad looking at him?
He's even sitting, he's a little bit taller than you, and he just looks back and gives you a very big toothy smile, tusks sticking way out.
I'm gonna point that out to Atalia. Just do you think he's trying to intimidate the orc?
Could I use this somehow?
See. Magical tinkering.
Tinker with the dice a bit?
I feel like you would need to be, you would need time with no, because these are cards. Remember, we're just rolling dice to represent cards being put out, so I don't think tinkering would do anything for them.
Fair enough. I was thinking they were dice. Alright, never mind then.
So go ahead and roll your cards.
Ooh,
Nice.
not bad.
Charles is also sitting at 9. Dandy, go ahead.
Watch me mess it up somehow.
Dandy's sitting at a 5.
It's not bad.
So Lady Atalia. Terrible again.
I'm gonna high five her because she likes getting the terrible rolls.
So you're sitting there with your hand up in front of her, and she's looking at it,
Yes.
giving it a very confused look. And did you need something?
She's a terrible telepath. She should know how this works. I'm just gonna tap her hand wherever it is. Yay!
it was like sitting on top of the table.
Just a happy yay.
Oh, yes, yay! And then she puts her hand up slowly.
High fives.
All right, so here comes the dealer's open roll. Nice. Then their closed roll. Okay. So dealer shows a 1.
Got a ways to go.
Yep. All right. So Wyatt is staying at 9.
Yes.
Charles staying at 9.
Yep.
Okay. Dandy, you're at 5.
I am going to roll. Yes. 7. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, guys. 8.
Do it again. Do it.
Such a bad
Maybe
influence.
I'll just be like, go on, do it.
Never
So
go to
much fun.
Vegas with Charles.
I'm gonna look at Tanya and ask her, what do you think?
The odds are 50-50.
The odds are never in my favor. Bust.
Yep.
Oh, unfortunate.
At least she only lost, 4?
Yeah. As Charles says, unfortunate, Dandy's just going to push him off his chair.
Revan at this point peeks in and sees the large mounts at the other.
Right, just a mountain of chips in front of him.
He is just wondering to himself, what part of if we succeed, that's our paycheck, did they not understand?
Okay, so the dealer reveals a 4, meaning that they now have 5.
5.
A 1 below and a 4 above. So at 5, 7, 8.
Yes.
Charles and Wyatt are
Let's
winners.
go. Up to 50 geese now. Top to
80s.
10.
Doubled up my paycheck.
This is just reinforcing bad behavior.
Now all I have to do is an 80 bet.
right, just roll.
Let it ride.
No. Wyatt is not no.
Charles just
Yeah,
like
that's-
just happy now. I was like, oh, that's good. I made break even, or just slightly better actually.
This has been fun, and he just looks at the orc and laughs.
The orc starts laughing with you.
Dandy is going to lean forward on her elbows on the table and ask the orc if he would like to arm wrestle for her coin back.
You see his eyes go wide. He's like, I would love to, but and then Pao Ming comes over behind and says, Thorg, you're not trying to arm wrestle with the patrons again, are you? And Thorg just looks up. No. I promise, mistress. No physical exertion here. And he's like staring straight ahead. This is an enormous orc, very clearly cowed by this small woman.
Is fun frowned upon here?
Says, we generally believe contests of physical prowess to be below our patrons, ma'am. Is there a game that you would wish to play that we do not offer here tonight?
Well, no, everything
say
here's been
yes.
fun. Yes.
Tell him you want to wrestle in a bit.
God. I just figure that there's some things people are better at than others. Like, some of these are thinking games, some of these are chance. But what about people who are more athletically inclined?
Well, it's certainly out of the ordinary, but as you are special guests of the Water Baron, perhaps we can make an exception for tonight. Thorg, you're an expert at these. She looks over towards you, Dandy. She was obviously about to use a word that was not very kind. And she looks back and she says, the more physical games of chance, are you not? And Thorg's like, yes, ma'am. Thorg, I am quite good at the games of physical. And before you can finish, Pao Ming's like, very well. Why don't you take our guests towards the bow, and perhaps you can facilitate a game for them. And Thor's like, yes, ma'am, I would be very happy to. And Thor's, have you played anchor toss before, madam?
No, but I want to.
The rules can be complicated. You see, and he gets up and starts walking you towards the front of the ship.
Yes, I'm going with him. I'm gonna see if Attila will come with us. Atalia, sorry.
Atalia?
Not Attila the Hun, sorry. Let's go. Charles is getting dragged with us.
Yes. I got all these tokens
Yes,
out and
I'll
gave them
come to
names
watch.
and this is DMing in a nutshell. I got all these tokens out. I gave all these NPCs names and everything. I did not give one to the dealer. And who do you all want to talk to and interact with? The fucking dealer.
Sorry.
Atalia politely refuses and says, "I'll stay here with the wine and the lighting. Thank you. Anchor toss does not seem like a game I would enjoy too much."
Think how random it is.
Question. Something about how she said in the lighting kind of... It could be my character is just a somewhat suspicious individual.
Mhm.
Is there anything he could pick up from that with an insight check?
Sure.
And I'll also use my little guidance thing, just, I should have done it first.
How bad is it? I was about to say Bardic Inspiration. That is the wrong game.
17 total.
Okay. She's a little bit afraid for her safety. She doesn't want to go out into the unpopulated, unlit sections of the ship.
Aw.
So do they actually plan on throwing anchors on the
God,
ship?
I hope so.
So,
I
Dandy,
really hope
we'll go ahead and get you to the front of the
Okay.
boat. I'll go ahead and just teleport you there.
Thank you.
Anyone else joining Dandy and Thorg up at the bow?
Yep, I'm joining them. I'm just gonna be watching. I'll probably just be leaning against the ship and watching.
Oh, you're not in the guard room.
Yes.
Don't want to be in there.
I haven't been paying attention to the lady. So I think Wyatt's just gonna go because he wants to see what this other gambling thing is.
Okay.
Someone remind me what's better, giant stone strength or fire?
What?
I've got
Fire
potions.
giant. Fire
Fire
giant.
giant.
Oh
Okay.
God.
Definitely a fire giant.
I've
That's
got it.
so smart of you.
I have moments.
All right. So Thorg leans down and he picks up an anchor. He says, "So the rules can be a bit tricky. For anchor toss, you pick up the anchor and you throw it as hard as you can. Whoever throws anchor the farther is winner."
I like it.
And Pao Ming from the back, "Wager, Thorg." And Thorg, "Oh yes, how much would you like to wager against the house today, ma'am?"
I'm looking at Brevin.
White yell 20 keys, and he throws 20.
I would like to wager my share, please.
Charles will throw in another 10 as well.
So whatever the share was, 50 was it?
No, it's
25?
40 each, and then
40, okay. 40.
and Wyatt and Charles also just put some of their money on the bet.
Yay.
Alright.
So how do I add it to my strength modifier? I'll take it off my
So
list.
what's the item that you're using?
Potion of fire giant strength.
Okay.
She's just gonna tip it into her drink and go, chug it.
Okay.
I think it's 25.
Holy crap!
So take a note on what your strength score is right now. Like write
hold
that
on,
down
let me
somewhere.
Sure.
Nice.
Core is +2.
Okay. What the actual number? Because we're gonna
14.
change. You're gonna change
14,
your.
14.
Okay, so take note of that, and then manually change it to 25.
Okay. Yay!
And so
Oh,
Can
Thorg?
you rage?
Advantage on athletics checks.
yes, please. Wait, how do I give myself advantage?
Just utilizing your rage.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Thorg picks up an anchor, rears back in obviously very practiced throwing stance,
Good luck,
and
buddy.
makes his athletics check. He gets a 23. It goes hurling away, and you can see the rope trailing out behind it as it flies out and out and out. And he says, while it's going, he says, "It is dark, so we cannot see where it lands, so we count." And then the splash hits. And he says, 8 seconds of airtime.
It's pretty awesome. You did a good job.
Thank you. I have much practice.
I can tell.
Pao Ming looks satisfied. She's like back there nodding. I don't know if anyone noticed, but she follows you all out and is watching.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I'm instead of staring at Thorg, I'm staring at her now, knowing that she's the real power behind the house.
What would you like me? Oh, sorry.
She gives a bit of a nod to you and a smile, a obviously very, very fake smile.
Does she seem competitive?
She seems very serious, very all business. Here she is.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought she was the one in the tiara. To be totally honest.
Oh, no.
That's even better.
Yeah.
All right. What would you like me to roll? 'Cause
Athletics check.
she's going to pat Throg on the shoulder and just be like, I can only hope that I can get it as far as you. That was pretty awesome.
So,
And-
what do you do when you go into your rage right now?
I just I could just see her just flexing and ripping her arms of her dress.
No!
She just rips their sleeves off,
Just-
flexes.
Yes, just hulks a little bit. Hold on. How do I rage? Hold on. Give me this. Give me 1 second. I hit the button. Oh, I thought I had a GIF in there. Whatever. Okay. So let's see here.
Athletics check at advantage with fire giant strength. This should be good. 29. Wow. So Pao Ming was back there looking very satisfied, like not thinking that Dandy would ever be able to beat their enormous orc dealer, who obviously is also a bouncer. And it goes flying, and Thorg is counting. It's like 8, 9. He looks towards you. 10, 11, 12. He looks out. He's like, and then the splash. It's just like this. It's like this huge, almost like a gunshot explosion. Just like more of the snap kind of sound, like when things get dropped from an enormous height. And Thorg was like, You've smashed my tribe's record by 2 seconds. Who are you?
I'm Dandelion.
Says, I will convey the name to my tribe's people. You will be a legend among the far northern tribes.
Dandy is going to give him a surprisingly elegant curtsy.
Just freaking yeet an anchor into the sun and then just curtsy. It's awesome.
Thank you so much. This was really fun. I appreciate you coming out here and doing this with us.
So Pao Ming approaches with a stack of golden geese and compensates you. She matches the bet that you all put down, and she looks towards Thorg and she says, my intention was to be upset if you lost in this, but it seems as though she is simply enormously impressive with this. So, Thorg, you may return to your table. She says, does this satisfy your need for physical exertion, ma'am?
Does. And now I have some extra geese to play with.
Very well. Shall we see you back to the tables, then?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Wyatt's too busy trying to think of a nickname for Dandy now to deal with sailboats and anchors.
Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
So back to the cabin. All right, everyone. So the rest of the trip passes in much the same way. It's closing in on about 1 a.m. now, as the ship left at 9 and was set to be docked back at 1 a.m., 4 hours after departure.
Hello?
Yes? Yep, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
I
Sorry,
saw.
we went out.
Oh, okay. All right. So, the rest of the night proceeds in much the same manner. Anyone that goes outside to get some air can see guards hanging out at a forward cabin. They're completely uninterested in all of you. They seem extraordinarily bored.
Is there a way that Brevin could have procured a bottle of some of the liquor from the bar here?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the bar and kitchen area. They can get you literally any food or drink that you ask for.
Okay.
Brevin?
I'm just needing a bottle and then and a few cups, and I'm going to come up here and offer the guards up here, see if the guards up here want a drink.
Okay, so Brevin, as you approached, there's a door right over here in the front of the ship. Do you go to the door, or do you like hang in from one of the windows?
I'll go to the door.
Okay. The door is right over here.
Okay.
And then you secretly sip in some lethal poison that kills on contact.
So, Brevin, you knock at the door. You hear some shuffling around, and when you open the door, or when one of the guards opens the door for you, all three of them are standing at attention, and as soon as they see you, they kind of relax. And like, one that opened the door is like, "You're not Pao Ming. You're not supposed to be back here. Why don't you go on back up with the other Richies and enjoy yourself?"
Well, the problem with that is I'm not exactly one who started out as a Richie.
Don't let them hear you saying that. They'll huck you over the side.
Been thrown out of worse places than this. I was going to ask if they would allow you all to have any, since it's getting close to the end of your shift, if they were okay with you having any libation or not back here.
He kind of turns around and looks at the other two guards and kind of looks around your shoulder. Pao Ming didn't send you back here to trick us or anything, did she? Seems like something she'd do.
No. Entirely of my own volition.
Make a perception check. Or, sorry, persuasion, not perception. Persuasion. He kind of looks you up and down. He says, "Yeah, you don't really got the look of those snooty bastards about you. Come on in. Keep your head down, though. We don't want Pao Ming to see you back here with us."
Okay. I'll slip in and kind of hunker down a bit then.
Okay.
And pour everybody something to drink and just start conversing with them.
Yep. Just don't mind me just randomly generating 3 names for 3 more NPCs that I didn't expect you all to interact with. DMing is great. Like it took me a while when I first started DMing to realize this, when I would make like 10 pages of prep per session and then use less than 1 of those pages on the session. It's just like, plan as much as you feel like you should and then plan to improvise. That is literally like the best advice I could ever give to any DM. It's just like, expect to have to improvise at the table all the time. But I digress. So the guards introduce themselves. The one who met you at the door, his name is Zabad. He introduces you to the other 2. He says Fem and Enon. And he says that...
And Brevin will introduce himself to them as well.
Okay. He says, "Nice to meet you. So, what'd you bring us?"
I just told them to... I just kind of asked them to get me a bottle of what some of the best stuff that they could afford to hand me was, and this is what they gave me.
All right.
I had a feeling if you've had to sit here and basically be on babysitting duty this long, it probably... whatever they were willing to sacrifice for the cause would be appreciated.
His eyes go wide, and he's like, "This is Silverquist. Elvish wine from the far north. 1 bottle of this is one of our yearly salaries."
Jesus.
Well, then I'm glad that they did not steer me wrong. Then
He's like,
I'm kind of curious what it tastes like myself.
So yeah, the one in the back kind of comes up with 4 glasses, and he's like, "You, sir, are my new best friend."
And he probably would just spend a little bit of time just kind of doing the small talk thing with them. But the main question he kind of has is if there's a reason they kind of have different folks on different levels of the ship.
Says, "Oh yeah, it's just the crew down there. There's about..." He looks back at Fem, 2 dozen? Fem nods. He's like, "Yeah, there's about 2 dozen people down there, men on the oars. Any given time. There's the bosun down there. He keeps them in line. Lord Dryland is here sometimes. He's not here tonight, though. You got his octopus down there. That thing is creepy as all hell. I'm pretty sure it speaks common, which is fucking weird, but..."
An octopus, you say?
"Yeah, a little slimy bastard. Locked him in a closet once. He came after us and bit Fem on the leg. It was fucking terrible.
Whoa. How big was it?
He puts out his hand and he makes about the size of like a basketball.
And did it run after?
You see Fem back there got creeped out by it, and so didn't want to look at it anymore while he was down there doing his patrols and just stuck it in the closet. Found its way out of the damn thing, don't know how, and the next thing you know, Fem looks down and it's attached to his leg and biting the shit out of him.
That has to be terrible, because I know that occasionally they are found. Well, I grew up lived around Waterdeep, and occasionally some of the town there out at sea, they normally don't try to bite, but I know some of the sailors said like they had beaks.
Yeah, just put the weird bottom part of it, whatever it is. I don't spend much time around the sea. The only time I've ever seen one of those things is here on the ship with that creepy bastard. And he kind of looks around. Shit. Lose my job if anyone heard me call him that. Sits back a little bit.
Well, let's face it. It's not exactly a typical pet one would have.
Right? Weird.
So who is the person who supposedly owns this pet?
Lord Dryland.
Now, of course, he thought that Brevin is kind of having, since he also has kind of an unusual pet, is this thing a familiar of the guy's?
Oh.
Sorry, what was the
Why are you
question?
so smart.
What was the question?
Brevin is kind of thinking to himself that this could be a familiar of Lord Dryland's. Because let's face it, he is not a typical pet for someone to have either.
Right. He shakes his head. I've never seen the Lord Baron ever doing any sort of magic or anything like that. He certainly doesn't. If he is of the wizardly persuasion, he certainly doesn't make it known to many people.
Question: how many legs does this thing have?
The octopus.
Or tentacles, I should say.
I think it's 8. Hey Fem, did you count it while I was biting you? And Fem just flips him off.
Okay. Well, an octopus typically has 8, but I know there's some other tentacled monstrosities out there that...
Fem kind of pipes up from the back. He's like, I wasn't really an accountant mood. I was trying to gnaw my leg off.
I can't say I blame you. It's never a good thing when something gets its teeth into you. Those smells good, though. I'm glad to see that you're no worse for wear from it, though.
Yeah, it took a chunk out. You want to see the scar? And without even waiting, he pulls his leg up, and there's just like a chunk missing from his calf.
Anything I could tell about it from looking at the killed injury?
Make a medicine check.
I'll probably give myself guidance on this one because I don't think that's one I'm exceptionally skilled at.
Nice.
I don't think it's gonna matter. So no, I'm not gonna bother with it. 4 is not gonna, even if I.
You don't even know it's a leg.
Yeah, it looks nasty. That's about all you get.
Oof. Raven just shudders a little bit. Like, that is rough. Well, gentlemen, I probably better leave you to it before your boss notices that I'm missing, so y'all don't get into any trouble.
He nods and says, "Here, take this with you." Hands you the bottle. He's like, "Thank you so much for sharing. That was a real treat."
Okay. Oh, that's no problem. And I just appreciate the conversation, fellas, and guess I will talk with y'all later. And he'll just slip out, and
All right.
if anyone sees him, pretend that he's been chugging away.
All right. Nice. Okay.
I guess
So-
he's back in here somewhere. There we go.
Now, at about 1 o'clock, 4 hours into your voyage, first off, does anybody want to try to win any more coin? Does anyone want to play Sava or Kobold's Knuckles anymore before the night's over?
I'm good.
I'm good. That was fun.
Yeah, you guys made a lot of money. All right. So, right around 1 a.m., you can feel the boat slowly begin to come to a stop. And motion for the boat fully stops. And Pao Ming steps forward. She says, "Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We hope to see you all again soon. Safe travels on your way home." And with that, the music abruptly stops. And several doors open along the exterior, leading you all outside.
I'll do a very gentleman bow to our host and thank her for hosting this evening and make my way out.
She returns the bow.
And he'll begin strutting again.
I just love, I love the
Visual.
the cartoonishness of it. Where is it? There we go. That. Like with the angled back and the feet flinging out in front.
Yes.
Okay. All right, everyone. So, when the boat docks at 1 a.m., Lady Italia does not acknowledge you or give you any indication that you should follow her. She just walks off and turns and begins walking down the road.
Well,
I am
I'm
just-
assuming we'll just gonna gather our things, group up, and just casually follow her, just as we just kind of chat amongst ourselves, as if we're not paying attention to her.
Did Dandy tell any of the? Did she tell any of us? Did she or Dandy tell any of us?
Nope. I was just gonna grab some
Nope.
arms and start walking.
Okay.
And just come on, let's go.
Oh,
And
oh.
once we were away from the boat, I was gonna say, she told me to follow her.
Okay.
Also, how long does a potion of fire giant strength last?
1 hour.
Nice. Ooh, that's gonna be nice. Although, oh shit, timelines are bad. The time doesn't add up.
Okay, no problem. It's okay. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, because you did that. We'll say we did it. You did it after. Even if it was after the first time jump, there was still 2 more hours left. So yeah, it'd be worn off by now, Dandy.
It's
Unfortunately.
totally okay. It's totally okay. I'll just put her back to 14. She was having a ball with that though.
It was well used to gain a lot of money, so
Yeah, that was a
We
lot of
spent-
money.
We spent a 2,000 gold piece potion to win 200 gold pieces. I feel smart.
Listen,
Well,
Listen.
if we all would have thrown more money, we would have made it out all right.
Dandy just became a legend, okay? In a orc tribe that has nothing to do with her.
there's some things that are more valuable than gold.
Yeah, reputation.
All right.
Just on the ship, does it dock back at the same place that it takes off from?
It does indeed.
Okay. In that case, I'll have E flip back down towards me where he was kind of hanging out on a roof, waiting for us to come back. give him the bribery of snacks that he demanded from the boat.
Nice. You got some fancy snacks from that boat ride.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys can take all your stuff back out from the bag of holding as well.
He stares at all the stuff coming from the bag of holding and is just thinking to himself, Charles needs to be my new snack bitch.
Watch your neck, Charles.
I'll pull out a blood vial from the bag of holding.
Right? He's just like staring at him hungrily, and Charles like,
And then, I was like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to pull this out, and I'll put it back in my bag.
That's amazing.
Oh god, he's probably gonna ride on Luna.
Onward,
Forward,
Steed.
Steed.
Most useless familiar ever.
Oh, he's amazing. Okay. All right. So, as you're all casually following Lady Italia, she turns down an alleyway. Do you all follow her?
Going to casually
Yep.
follow her.
Okay. So when you turn down, it makes a long corridor with another L at the end. There's nowhere else she could have gone other than down that alley and then made that left. So as you're all
Right.
making your way down there and turn, she's standing there with her hands crossed behind her back. She says, "So, why have you all been following me?" Or she would have phrased that differently. She would have asked why you were looking for her.
While Revan does the talking, I'm just gonna finish putting on my armor.
You're dressing in the alley?
I'm just putting my armor on.
Okay.
I'm not taking anything off.
It is not that complicated. There are some individuals that have been found who've been in a state of distinct physiological distress.
She nods and
last
says,
thing
"I
they
was
can
worried that you would come for them. I admit I have been involved in the abduction of these noblemen, but I have been coerced.
If
There's a
you're in
man."
danger, we can help you.
She nods and says, "I do find myself in over my head."
Well then, this must be your lucky day. We specialize in over your head activities.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but Usith is different than the men I'm used to dealing with. I believe him to be a sorcerer of some power. He can cause me pain wherever I am. And she kind of rubs just over her right eye. It's taking most of my will now to keep him from seeing our conversation. He came to Yartar a few weeks ago, and he was initially charming. But beneath that thin veneer, he is evil, and a ruthless man beneath the surface.
What can you tell us about him?
Only that he arrived a few weeks ago. He convinced me that working with him would prove, well, lucrative, and it did. But once I realized what we were doing, that we were kidnapping nobles, what he was doing to them, changing them somehow, it was far, far beyond what I am comfortable with, and I tried to leave, but he would not let me leave his service.
Where can we find him?
She takes a step back and looks down at a sewer grate beneath her.
Ah.
Is he somehow connected to Lord Dryland?
No, no, Lord Dryland and everyone else on the Grand Aim, they aren't involved. I just use their riverboat because it's a good place to pick up lone nobles. And that is what Usith requires of me.
Hang in
How
there a little while longer.
how does he do this through you? Is it just magic?
By now, you know of my gift. And she speaks into Dandy's mind again. How I spoke to you earlier, is what she would say.
Danny just nods to her.
She says, he somehow knew of my ability and he sought me out. And all I'm to do is convince these young nobles to come back to the alley with me, and then creatures take them.
Hearing that, Wyatt immediately grabs his shield, shuts it on his arm, and casts Detect Evil and Good.
Okay.
Mostly because he's looking around to make sure that there isn't creatures in the darks that he can't see.
Okay. No, you don't detect anything that would trigger a detect evil and good within 30 feet of you at the moment.
All right.
And she says, I've never seen anything like them before. They walk on two legs, but they have the faces and heads of some sort of it's like a sea bass, like some sort of a bass on top of these. Oh, they're horrible.
Well, that definitely sounds like our mark. Well, rest assured that we're not here to hurt you. In fact, it sounds like we're here to help you. So, anything you can tell us that'll aid us, tell us to us now, and we'll take care of the rest.
Well, Usith resides in the sewers. He prefers to stay out of the sight of the shields and the hands of Yartar. He is protected by a handful of those fish people. They seem to revere him as some sort of a god.
Well,
I'm
is there anything else you could give us? Maybe do you perhaps have a map of some sorts of the sewer that we could use?
Well, the system directly beneath us is rather simple. You simply need to travel from west to east along the path of the sewers until you reach a ladder leading down. I haven't been there myself, but that seems to be where his assistants take the nobles to.
Fair enough. We'll investigate. Do we need anything else from her, or should we rest up and get ready to go down there the next day?
Well, it depends. Do we think that she can? Brevin asked her if she thinks. Do you think that you can hold out if this man that doesn't seem like much of a man attempts to use his powers to press you?
So you mentioned going down tomorrow?
Yes.
So if you said that, she would visibly panic. She'd say, I've risked too much bringing you here now. A day he will surely there's no she's visibly panicking. She feels confident that she cannot keep him out of her mind for that long.
All right. Well,
Brevin,
I regret not taking a long rest now.
Brevin takes out a piece of paper from his goods, scribbles down a note, and hands it to E and tells E to get it to their current employer.
Okay.
Because she might need to know this information if something happens.
All right.
And he's going to get his armor out of Charles's pack and be like, well, I suppose it's time to slip on some of this and prepare to.
One quick question. Oh wait, never mind.
The suspense.
Dandy's looking into the sewer and just thinking, this fancy water baron lady is not going to want this dress back.
Well, if that's the case, why don't we take off all these nice clothes, put them in the bag, and let's get ready for battle.
So you are getting undressed in the alley.
Not in the
Wow.
alley. I'm not gonna do it in the alley. I'll just do it in like one of the,
Dandy's just going to gird her loins and to jump in.
Just how is he being able to read your mind from such a far distance?
She shakes her head and says that she's not sure. The farthest that she can read thoughts and that she can use her ability is only a couple dozen feet or so. She has no idea how he's powerful enough to reach across cities.
And I'm not detecting anything on top of her, right? Like, there's no like worm in her eye or anything like that.
No. Your detect good and evil spell definitely didn't chime off on her.
Hold on one sec here. I'm going to, as a ritual, use detect magic.
Okay.
Just to see if there's any magical residue he can see upon her, or
You get you would have expected to see an aura of divination magic around her, and you do in fact see that.
I turn back, look at the party while it's still going, and say, well, there is some divination magic that has been enacted upon her.
Well, she is a telepath, so that's evocation. It would have been evocation then.
Yeah.
So that's just her own latent magical ability.
All I'm seeing is her own innate magical ability. So whatever is affecting her is not arcane or divine in origin. Which in and of itself is interesting.
Are you able to feel him trying to probe your thoughts?
She says, when he tries, I can certainly feel that he is in my mind, yes.
Well, I guess I'm going to... I just wait for... How long would it take E to drop off the message and get back?
About 20 minutes.
Okay, and I did 10 using the detect magic, so I'm just going to wait for my bat to get back, then I'm going to, like Dandy, jump in.
Is he a familiar?
Yep.
Then he goes one way. You unsummon him. You dismiss him no matter where he is. And then you resummon him and he appears at your feet.
Yeah.
This happens and there's just this like misty poof of fog, and he's looking around like, and the look on his face, he's not saying anything, but you can tell he is thinking, what the bleep?
Audacity.
The audacity.
You will pay for this, Brevin.
He's thinking, I don't even have to travel by wing anymore. I just instantaneously appear. Screw you guys.
I have attained godhood.
Right, well, it seems we're on the clock, because she's gonna have to keep resisting probably until we're able to clear out the sewers, so...
As go in, I will toss a guidance on her for whatever check she's having to make, just to help her out with at least one of them. So +3 doesn't hurt.
Okay.
And into the sewer we go.
I'll give her a look of confidence and be like, "This ends tonight."
She nods and says, thank you all so much, and good luck. And with that, sewers, yay.
Oh, I can't see anything.
Anybody have vision?
No,
I do.
I have zero vision right now.
I've got better. I've got Devil's Sight.
My
Charles, do you have night vision? Dark vision?
my defender does 60 feet.
Okay. Your defender's already out.
Is it already out? Okay, I couldn't tell. I
Yeah.
can't see it. I literally see zero, like nothing right now.
Can you see through your defender's eyes? Ah!
No, I cannot. I'd be relying on the defender to kind of tell me where things are.
Oh no, what am I doing?
Why did I think it was a wolf?
It's a panther.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Okay.
Hold on.
So, Charles, you can see, but you'll be at disadvantage in anything that requires sight if you are just using it as your kind of guide. Unless you were to, of course, make a light source of some kind.
I will cast light with my shield because I need light.
Yeah,
I'm a human.
I'll cast light as well.
Okay, so we got two creatures extending 40 feet of 20 feet, 20 feet, bright and dim, right?
You horse, you need light?
No, underground is a dwarf's natural habitat.
Okay.
Horse should
It's
definitely
usually
be in the
better
front.
smelling underground, I take it.
Yeah, you all can establish your marching order as you want to. You'd have traveled for maybe 20 feet before making it onto the map here.
Okay.
Horse definitely taking lead. I'll probably just be in the
That's
middle.
the water.
Yeah, I'm taking it you're not in the water because it is deep.
No, there's what do we have for sensors? Does the skilled defender have good perception?
It does actually.
And I bet.
It has really good perception. I mean, look to pull it up. We cannot be surprised with the defender. Actually, it's got vigilant.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
The steel defender can't be surprised. That does not mean that you cannot be surprised.
Yeah, we still can't be. Yeah, we still can't be. But it's also got a +6 perception.
I have danger sense.
Nice.
He does have his echolocation, which basically means he does have blind sight.
It's a Peter
He's
tingle.
going to fly up ahead and look around.
Okay. It's obviously quite dark and damp down here. The tunnels are about 8 feet tall. The canals seem rather deep. The water is obviously very disgusting. Not something that you would want to be inside of. But yeah, it's letting off quite a few rather unpleasant odors, along with the fact that it is considerably warmer than the air around it, so a bit of steam is rising up off it, which is making a lovely dampness down here.
Okay, and I take it that this little thing kind of just below Wyatt is a like walkway across.
It is. And as you're all making your way over, Horace, you would hear it first. It sounds like an injured animal of some kind, just like making small noises somewhere to the northeast.
Sounds like an injured animal of some kind is making noises to the northeast.
Is it a language?
We were told to go
Okay,
east-west to go find a ladder.
I'll have my bat kind of fly across and see if he
West
can hear or
east.
see anything.
So yeah, you would all begin to hear it once it was pointed out to you. It sounds like almost like an injured calf, just kind of making small, sad, bleeding noises somewhere nearby. E would be looking into a bit of a control room. It's got hand wheels and levers, a desk and two chairs, some sort of office space.
Hmm.
And a calf?
That's somewhere farther this way that you're hearing that noise. I'll
Oh, okay.
ping it for you. It's somewhere farther this
Very
way.
inexpensive office space if it has to be in the sewer.
Wonka wonka.
Let's press forward and see what we can find in that case.
Boop.
It's a little further on north.
Press forward or to the control room.
Revan closes his eyes for a moment to look through ease and says, "The control room itself just had. There's no obvious entrances or exits out.
What
out
is E's AC?
there. Ease AC? Probably not. He doesn't say there, but probably not too dang high because
He is scooped up by something and immediately snuffed out.
Oh,
Yeah, he has an armor class of 12.
Okay, yeah, he is scooped up by something from up above. Brevin, you get the faint impression of something blocking E's vision for a brief moment before
So poof,
poof.
away he goes. I'll just leave him there for the time being and go back.
He's gonna be
down to
pissed when he
the-
gets back.
A control room.
you got me eaten.
Control room might be worth investigating. I could definitely tinker around with that.
Revan opens his eyes and says, "Something just took out my bat."
Oh, did it? Where was it in the room?
Did it have an entire thought and just stroke out?
Something grabbed it and took him out.
What did E ever do to you, Tandy?
Well,
Revan,
I definitely.
Revan, being somewhat arced at this, starts off by
Dandy's gonna pat his shoulder and tell him, there.
using this as a cantrip on his staff.
Nice.
Oh.
Oh. It's like their lightsaber activates.
He just whispers, "Something is going down for that."
Well, if that's the
Revan
case,
just got more attractive.
well, if that's the case, shall we? We can all just rush in at the same time, with Horace in front.
Yeah, just feed Horace to whatever just ate the bat.
Well, let's be fair. Horace is a lot more
Hardy.
sturdier.
I'm gonna try to ease myself up here a bit so I can see down here.
So there is a bridge going north and south.
Yes, there is a bridge here and a bridge here.
Is there ones going east-west and they're just not deployed?
Where are you currently, Horace? Where's your token? Oh, there you are. Blech. Sorry.
Yeah. Revan's on the wall above him.
Horace, let me see if you can see
Yeah.
it.
Well, I'll have Charles look because he's more mechanically inclined.
Yeah, Horace, you don't see any other bridges currently. Oh,
So there's
you can vaguely see one to the far south of where you're standing.
So how are we supposed to go east-west if there's no bridge?
I'm sure there's
we
one
jump.
further. Well,
It's literally a 10-foot gap.
we could jump, or we can go looking for another bridge along.
Horace, you can vaguely see a bridge to the south that goes east and west.
Yeah, I guess like
Okay.
me looking down, I can see one down south it goes east to west.
You can see better than me.
Yeah.
Well, how do we deal with this thing first? Whatever it is.
Well,
Well, do we want to stay on objective since Italia is kind of counting on us, or are we going to have vengeance for the bat?
Well, I'd say we do both. Have vengeance for the bat, and also getting access to the control room might give us some useful information.
I don't think they have CCTVs.
Don't think I want anything coming up from behind us.
That too.
Yeah.
All right, Horace, lead the way. Might just see the
This
friend over right
group,
next to you.
this group has never heard of "Don't Start Nothing, Won't Be Nothing."
Well, technically, they started it when they ate Brevin's bat.
Fair enough.
All right, Horace.
I hope it gives you indigestion.
I wish you guys could see the look on Hank's face.
Go make something choke.
okay. I'm going to take a dodge action, and I'm going to move 30 feet up.
Okay.
We're not in initiative
Oh,
yet, so
the,
I'll just be moving.
Yeah,
behind
this
you.
is the entryway in.
Right.
Horace,
Oh,
you
God.
see a dark room. There's a desk laying in the corner. There's a desk in the middle, and it's very damp in here, almost slippery.
What's on the ceiling?
As you look up, Horace, directly above you, it looks like just patches of basically just slime kind of up there hanging. But as you look up and just look right at them, several arms begin to drift down from them and towards you, as several of those patches of slime begin to grow pseudopods. And Horace, one is literally directly above you, but we'll move it right there for now. But all four, like several of these little patches of slime, begin to reach down their tentacles towards you, reaching out towards you, and you begin to hear a loud ringing in your ears as this happens, getting a vague headache as they extend their arms down towards you. And as these pseudopods reach downwards towards Horace, that is where we're going to call it a session for today.